Let's move on now. In 2009, the murder of a 28-year-old call center employee, Jigisha Ghosh, terrified Delhi. On March 19, Jigisha had been robbed by 4 men in posh South Delhi and murdered in cold blood just meters away from her home. 6 years later, her killers now face trial, but a chilling new angle has emerged. Jigisha's parents, who chose to live in anonymity so far, have broken their silence about the sickening fear that has gripped them. They've revealed for the first time that they receive anonymous phone calls every single week, threatening them with harm and asking them not to pursue justice for their daughter.
अब 6 साल हो गए हैं इस केस को। अभी क्या स्थिति है इस केस की?
अभी जहाँ पर थे वहीं पर है। अभी कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं है केस का। जहाँ पर थे तो वहीं पर केस रुके हुए हैं।
तो इतने टाइम में अभी क्यों केस रुका हुआ है? क्या दिक्कत हुई? पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर आपने बताया नहीं है, तो अभी कहाँ पे किस वजह से परेशानी हो रही है?
पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर नहीं है तो कौन केस ये हैंडल करेंगे? पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर रहते हुए भी बहुत दिन हम लोग वापस आए, हियरिंग नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि कोई ना कोई वो लोग कॉज दिखाते थे। अभी रवि कपूर हॉस्पिटल में गए हैं, अभी उसका स्टमक ट्रबल चल रहा है, अमित शुक्ल का, ऐसे करके बहुत बहाना बनाए, या कभी उनका लॉयर नहीं आए हैं। हम लोग 6 to 8 आवर्स उधर वेट किए, फिर घर रिटर्न बैक हुए। वो डिले कर चल रहा है।
अब आप दिल्ली में रहते थे, आपने बताया कि थ्रेटनिंग कॉल्स भी आते थे। किस तरह के फोन आते हैं परेशान करने के लिए आप लोगों को?
आप लोग कहाँ रह रहे हैं? इस केस में क्यों अभी चल रहा है? केस से हट जाओ, इधर केस में क्यों ये कर रहे हैं? आप लोगों को अपने को दिखना नहीं है, ऐसा करके बोलता था। मिस्ड कॉल आता था, ज़्यादातर मेरे मोबाइल में आता थे, जो आप कहाँ रह रहे हैं, बार वेयर अबाउट जानने के लिए वो लोग कोशिश करते थे।
दिल्ली छोड़ के आप लोगों को अब कहीं और शिफ्ट होना पड़ा उसकी वजह से?
हाँ, उसके वजह से हम लोगों को शिफ्ट होना पड़ा।
पुलिस प्रोटेक्शन की कभी कोशिश करी आप लोगों ने? पुलिस प्रोटेक्शन मिले आप लोगों को?
नहीं, उतना तो नहीं लेना चाहा, क्योंकि अभी उतना तो नहीं हुआ। खाली पुलिस ने हमें मना किया है जो आप लोग वेयर अबाउट्स किसी को मत बताइए, जहाँ पर रहेंगे खाली चुपचाप। खाली हम लोग कोर्ट को दिए हैं और लॉयर को दिए हैं वेयर अबाउट्स कहाँ रहते हैं। नहीं, टिल डेथ मैं लड़ूंगी। मैं उनका फांसी चाहती हूँ। जैसे मैं तड़प रही हूँ, उनको भी होना चाहिए, उनका पेरेंट्स को भी समझना चाहिए। पेरेंट्स को कैसे ये करना, अपब्रिंगिंग कैसा करना चाहिए था, वो ऐसा किया है। जैसे मैं बेटी को देखने के लिए उसकी वॉइस सुन लेके तरसती हूँ, ऐसा मैं तो फांसी चाहती हूँ उनको।
Well, joining us now is Ankit Tyagi, who spoke with Jigisha's mother there. Ankit, first of all, take us through the background of this case, because it's a 6-year-old case. Refresh the viewer's memory on that case.
Well, extremely sad story there. In fact, the parents of Jigisha Ghosh, who was murdered on 19th March 2009, she was in fact picked up right outside her house. She was a call center employee. She was coming back from work and was on a work-related phone call when these people, the accused, came on pretext of asking for directions for a place in Vasant Vihar, and they then kidnapped her, took her to the ATM, withdrew money from her card, more than 1 lakh rupees, and then she was shot dead. After that, the family has been struggling. She was the only child of her parents. In fact, both her parents, her father is now retired. They had to leave Delhi because of the threat that they were facing. People were calling them up. The family of the accused and the other known assailants were calling them up, asking them out the whereabouts, asking them to withdraw the case, drop the case, or they will meet the same fate as their daughter. The mother was, she said that she was bedridden, extremely depressed, and now the only hope for them is to finally see those accused being hung and justice being served. They have a very strong case as far as this entire thing goes, and now the only delay is on the part of the judiciary. The process has taken very long.
Ankit, as you're pointing out there, the parents have broken their silence for the first time in 6 years now. Has the police given them any reassurance? What's the latest on that?
I'll tell you, the family was so scared that they did not even tell me where they live. I met them at somewhere, where they asked me to come. Then I just met the mother and I spoke to her. It was disheartening to see their struggle. And as far as the case's latest on the case goes, it's been 2 years that the public prosecutor has resigned from this case. No public prosecutor has been, in fact, appointed. It was the Jigisha's case that brought that in fact opened the Soumya Vishwanathan case. Also Soumya's case, because she was a journalist and has seen some progress. Recently, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has appointed a public prosecutor in her case. But as far as Jigisha's case goes, that blatant murder still waiting for justice, and in fact waiting for a public prosecutor so that things can move on.
Deputy Editor Shiv Arur is now joining us with a perspective on that story. Shiv, the police is well aware of the fact that even in custody, the person accused of this murder has been making extortion calls. What are they doing about this?
It's the most terrifying situation anyone can ever imagine.
Yes.
If people remember 2009 when Jigisha Ghosh was murdered, it was one of the most sensational murders at that time. It had come just a few months after Soumya Vishwanathan, the journalist, was actually murdered. And it turns out that the killers were the same. But here's how scary it is, like Ankit was just pointing out, Maha. You've got 4 men who were held responsible for the crime currently under trial. There's a hearing coming up in just a few days. They've been, been in custody for the last 6 years, facing justice, and yet the parents, the aging parents of Jigisha Ghosh have just revealed that they continue to get death threats and mysterious phone calls even at this time. They say they're living completely in anonymity, which is why we're not revealing where we've met them or where they spoke to us. They refuse to pick up phone calls where the number can't be traced. They continue to get phone calls on their landline, which means that the scary part about this, Maha, this means that people have been tracking them. They haven't been able to conceal their locations. They aren't completely anonymous.
Yes.
And those 4 people who are currently in jail are probably still able to get word out that these people need to be silenced. And that's why it's taken them so long to actually come out. It was a monumental task, first of all, speaking to the parents and trying to get them to agree to tell their story, telling them that they need to come out and bring these facts out, which is why we're in touch with the Delhi police as well to try and get a perspective from them in just a short while and what they're planning to do and what they're willing to do for the parents of Jigisha Ghosh.
And these accused continue to act with impunity even though the trial is still on. What's scary is that despite the fact that the whereabouts of the parents is not supposed to be known, they have been getting threatening calls. Shiv, many thanks for joining us with those details.